Hello all. The problem today we're going to solve is called as number of islands, and it is a very important problem. And it has been asked in multiple coding interviews like Google and Microsoft. Can even find multiple interview experiences based on this problem on all over the internet. And in the lead code, it is under medium tag, and it has over 7,000 likes to 300 dislikes. So, which means it is a very good problem. And in this video we're going to understand how the solution works for this problem and what is the algorithm behind it. And we will even code this problem. And before that, uh, as you can see on the screen, right, only 2% of the people are subscribed to the channel. And if you're liking the content on this channel, please consider subscribing to the channel. It means a lot. So, now without wasting any time, let's start understanding the problem. Coming to the problem statement, we are given an m cross n 2D array, and it is filled up with either ones or zeros. So one indicates land, and zeros indicate water. And an island is surrounded by water. So an island will be surrounded by water on the four sides, and is formed by connecting adjacent lands horizontally or vertically. So we can connect the land horizontally or vertically. That is either this direction or in this direction. You may assume all the four edges of the grid are surrounded by water. So you can assume that everything beyond these boundaries, four boundaries, is water. True. So let's understand this problem more clearly. So this is a small example that I have created. So let's say we are at this index, right? So we can join this and this, since we can move horizontal direction, and this will become an island, because from here we can if we go horizontally or vertically, so we can only see zero. And according to the problem, we cannot travel to this direction. Technically this entire thing is a one island, but in our problem these two are considered as two different islands. So this will be island 1. And the same case, this can be connected with this, and this can be connected with this. So these three become island number 2. And similarly this becomes an island, and this becomes an island, and this becomes an island, right? So in this case we have four islands. And because this will be connected to this will be connected to this. So everything is connected either in this horizontal or vertical direction. So we can look can look for connections to the islands in four directions. And we cannot look in the diagonally, right? And if there is water, then this island is been disconnected. So this is everything that you have to know about this problem. And from by looking at this, we can clearly understand that this is a typical search problem, either a BFS or a DFS, right? So since we need to find islands, so we in this video I'm going to use BFS, because that is my go-to way of searching. So let's our so we will be solving the problem in such directions, in such way, so that we will be traversing through this entire 2D array. And whenever we see an land, right, if I see a land in this direction, I will going to be updating my answer. So I'm going to update my answer, that so I'm going to start a new island. So whenever I see a 1, I'm going to start a new island, and I will do the breadth first search, so that I can join all the islands that are that considered in this island. And once the search has ended, we are going to return, and we will continue the search. And again, whenever we see a 1, similarly we are going to do this, perform the search, right? So now that we have uh, understood the concept, let's start by coding. As usual, I'm going to use Python 3 for this video. Okay, so first of all, I will change this graded to A for the simplification purposes. Since they said M and N, so we are going to use the same thing. m and n, and m would be the number of rows, that would be length of a, and what is n? N would be the number of columns, that is going to be length of a of 0, right? So we also initialize the answer to 0. So let's traverse through this array, 2D array. So whenever I mean array, it is 2D array. For I in the range of m through each column, sorry, through each row. For I in range of n, so for every column. So here we will check if we have reached an land or not. So since they said 1 is equal to land, so if we have seen 1, that means we have reached a land. So we can start our island. So for starting island, we will simply increase our answer to 1, and here we are going to perform, sorry, we are going to perform our search here, right? So once we have completed the search, we are going to return our answer. So returning answer, so this would be our this thing. And for the search, as I've already said, I'm going to use breadth first search. So let's say island search, I'm going to create a function, and it will take what is the grid, what is I, what is its j, and what is its boundaries m and n, right? So we are going to start breadth search from this direction, from this point, from the point where you have seen I. For example, if I see an I here, right? So I'm going to perform breadth first search from this direction. So what would be our so I'm going to define a new function here, a function inside the function. We can do that in Python. So let's say I'm going to define I search, and it will take same arguments a comma I comma j comma m comma n, right? So let's take it step by step here. So first of all, we can do the breadth first search in 4 directions, right? So let's denote what are they. So if I'm performing search a comma I comma j comma m comma n, I can perform it in 4 directions. So if I copy this, next. So if I do the copy and paste, so what are the 4 directions? So we can search in the top direction, we can search in bottom, uh, or we can search to its right or to its left. That means both horizontal and vertical directions. And once we have done our search, we are going to return 0. So our search will be ended, right? But before that, there are some base cases that we have to handle. So what are that, right? Once we have visited a place, so then we have to mark it in such a way that we will understand that we have already visited this place, right? So for that, what I'm going to do, I'm going to mark the places which I have visited as 2. So why is this, right? So there are 2 reasons. We can simply mark it as 0 as well. But if you mark it as 0 at the end of the program, once all the program is completed, our initial grid will be filled with only zeros. So in that case, we are losing the information of which is the actual island and which is the actual water. So but if I replace it with 2, then all our islands will be replaced by 2. So I will have a new grid which has 2's and zeros. So I'm not losing the information here, right? And also we have to check whether we have crossed our boundaries, right? So if I'm performing I plus 1, and if my I is increased at this point, then I have to check whether that is in the boundaries or not. Because let's say you are at this direction and you are performing BFS from this, and from these 4 cases, there is a case where we will be searching in this direction, right? But in this direction, there is actually no point, right? No point in this direction. So we have to take care of that base case. For that, we will check the boundary conditions. That is, if I is less than 0, or if j is also less than 0, right? That is also boundary condition. Or if I is greater than or equal to m, that is I is greater, I is shooting out of the boundary, or j is greater than or equal to n, that is j is exceeding the number of columns. So in all these cases, we are going to return 0. So our breadth first search will not be done in these conditions. True. And also there will be some conditions where I have already reached the node and there is no point of making another search from this, right? So in that cases, so if a of I and j is not equal to 1, that means it is not visited, because if we are visited it would be marked as 2. So if I of j is not equal to 1, then we are going to return 0. Our search will be done here, right? So in all other cases, I'm going to mark that node as uh, as 2. That means we have visited and this belongs to an island. And yeah, that's it. It looks fine. Let me just sorry, how to do the indentation here. Okay, maybe there is no indentation. So let's clear this. So we are traversing to the each node. We are performing the breadth first search in all the 4 directions. We have take care of our base cases. This looks good. Let's run it and let's debug the if anything is wrong. It says j is not defined. Yeah, obviously no code will never run on the first run. There has to be some mistakes. Okay, so now we are able to debug the solution. Let's submit it. Let's see how much percentage can we break. Okay, we are able to beat 85%, which is not bad. And as I already said, no, never look at this into this statistics mode. So we are under 200 milliseconds, which is very nice. And we are using constant memory, right? We haven't used any memory. There are other cases where if you are not aware of this small trick, right, a small idea. So in order to get this functionality, you would have used another 2D array, that is an array which will store if a visitor or not. So we have to create a visited array, and we have to on each search we have to mark it true or false, which would have taken m cross n of extra space, so which is not efficient. So few things to remember is that how we are marking our visitor nodes and how we are checking for our boundaries conditions, and rest all is basic BFS. We can also use DFS, and we can also use what we call union sets and all. But BFS is my go-to search algorithm, so that's why I've used it. And as usual, the code and a blog will be linked in the description. And I hope you like this video. If you did so, no, consider subscribing to the channel and leave a like or comment, and try to share your opinions on the video so that I uh, can rectify if there is something wrong. And thanks for watching.